All right, folks, now it's time for our Fox Watching. With a total of 8 undefeated teams at this point, 6 of those teams are 3-0. It marks just the 5th time in NFL history this has happened. The last time it occurred 10 years ago. Now, 2 of those teams are the Packers and Vikings, who face one another today, and that's where we will begin our Fox Watch. Sam Rosen will be calling all the action from the Metrodome, and he's with us now. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, JB. It's 3-0 Green Bay, 3-0 Minnesota, and that spells excitement. It's exciting here in Minneapolis. This has been the lead story on the evening news, and we've got a sellout crowd, 25% of which could be Green Bay Packer fans. Strange things seem to happen in games between these two teams here at the Metrodome. Last year, Brett Favre went down with an ankle injury. His backup Ty Detmer was injured, so late in the game, third-string emergency quarterback T.J. Rubley was in. He audibled and threw this interception, which led to the Vikings' game-winning field goal. 3 years ago, Jim McMahon, who's down with the Packers, was the Vikings quarterback, threw a Hail Mary. There was a defensive breakdown. It was complete. And the Vikings went on to win that game by a field goal. They've won the last 3 games by a total of 8 points. Coach Mike Holmgren of the Packers wanted to change things up. He changed practice times. He changed the hotel that the team stayed in. For Minnesota, Warren Moon's ankle is getting better. He threw away one of his orthotics. There's a battle of 2 undefeated teams in Charlotte. For that, let's go to Dick Stockton.
All right, Sam, thank you very much. And first place is at stake. The 49ers, and hard to believe, yes, the Carolina Panthers as well. Both teams coming off the bye week, and it couldn't come at a better time for Steve Young, who suffered the pulled groin muscle against the Rams 2 weeks ago. Started practicing Wednesday. He says he's ready to go, although he told us yesterday you never really know until you play. As far as the Panthers are concerned, the bye week did not help Kerry Collins, their second-year quarterback, who is out with a sprained knee. There is Collins on the sideline, and instead it'll be Steve Berline going today, the veteran for the Carolina Panthers. This is the 5th team he has started at quarterback for. Speaking of the bye week, the 49ers have struggled coming off the week not playing. In fact, they have dropped 4 of the last 6 games following the bye week, including a very tough loss against the Colts on the road last year. But as George Seifert, the coach of the Niners, told us yesterday, at least Carolina also coming off a bye week themselves. That's the story here. They're revved up in Carolina. Let's send you to St. Louis and Kenny Albert.
Thanks, Dick. Like the Panthers and the 49ers, the Rams were also off last week, but the Redskins routed the Giants. Washington looking for their 3rd consecutive victory today, and they'll do it against a St. Louis squad ranked dead last in the NFL offensively, but quarterback Steve Walsh says his elbow is okay. Now the Rams will need more production from their first-round draft pick Lawrence Phillips, only 61 yards over the first 2 games. Phillips will line up deeper in the backfield today in order to read his holes better. Now, no problems whatsoever on the ground for the Redskins. Terry Allen, 340 yards. He leads the NFL. And the Rams, to a man, say, we'll let Gus Frerotte, the quarterback, beat us, but we do not want Terry Allen to beat us. Now let's head to the Meadowlands and Mike Breen.
Thank you, Kenny. Heavy rains at the Meadowlands today as the Jets host the Giants. Poor conditions for teams off to very poor starts, and they have taken a beating in the media this week in New York. Headline in the tabloid today, stinker in the swamp. One positive, though, the quarterbacks of each team, Dave Brown of the Giants, Neil O'Donnell of the Jets, both grew up in New Jersey and know how tough it can be in New York. As for the injury problems, Jets really concerned with their defensive line. All 4 starters in some trouble. Marvin Washington and Matt Brock both questionable this week. Mike Chelensky injured earlier in the week. He missed a couple of days of practice. That is a real concern for the New York Jets. They are desperate for wins, both of these teams. As for the loser, there is not a pothole big enough in New York for them to crawl into if they drop this one. Now let's go to Eric Clemons in New Orleans.
All right, Mike, the big story here at the Louisiana Superdome as the winless Saints prepare to host the winless Cardinals is Arizona's change at the key position. Coach Vince Tobin is going with Kent Graham over his beleaguered veteran Boomer Esiason at the quarterback spot, and Tobin says this is not going to be just a one-game experiment. Meanwhile, the Saints will try to jumpstart their running game. Out is Mario Bates as a starter, their leading rusher for 2 years. In is Ray Zellers. He's going to handle the halfback load today. That's the story from here at the Superdome. Now let's send it back to our Fox television centers in Hollywood and James Brown. JB?
All right, Eric. And in the second game of our doubleheader, now most of you will see Troy Aikman and the Dallas Cowboys facing the Bills and their defense led by that man, Bruce Smith, looking to add to his 5-sack total. Now, the rest of you will get a big Central Division matchup as the Bears and the Lions square off. Both teams 1 and 2, desperately in need of a win.